Hi, my name is Darkhound05, and you may have seen my Raw Netflix predictions. And normally, I think I would have tried to do I react to my predictions, but I kind of really want to talk about the show. It took me a day to really formulate my thoughts, and I have to say, I was pretty disappointed by the Raw Netflix debut. We'll go through the matches kind of as I talk through this a little bit, but first things first. Like the Triple H segment, fine, I like that. The history of wrestling, that's cool and all. But you know what? Let me talk about some of my ranting points right now. First off, it's really annoying that, especially if you have ad free, that you still have to watch ads in the US. The fact that international audiences were getting promos with like the New Day and Karrion Kross and The Miz and things like that that were furthering stories that we weren't getting and we had to wait to look on social media was really frustrating. It's really annoying, and I was watching from my Xbox, so I couldn't put on a VPN, but I'm really considering in the future either watching on my phone or watching on my computer with the VPN because it's just stupid. Like, seriously, is it really that hard that if you have ad-free Netflix that you should have to see ads? It just seems like it's really defeating the purpose, and not a fan of that at all. I think it really ruined the pacing. I would have hoped that they would have been better about maybe trying to put the ads between matches. They weren't. It's so annoying when you get like matches interrupted, especially with this feeling like almost a PLE. They were kind of presenting it that way. I know they have to do stuff with their advertisers and to please them and stuff, but I was hoping more for like how it is with PLEs, with how it is with um, when they do the ads themselves. I like that more than like just generic ads. It's more fun where it's like, oh, this is a product that sponsors us. Where they had like the Alpha Academy, will do a lot of them. Like the Otis Manscaped one stands out, is a really hysterically weird but great one that fits the tone and fits things like that. Or like the Wingstop one with Ray and Braun. Like I would like it way more that way if it felt a little more organic, that it was the wrestlers promoting the stuff. But to start, the Rock being cool with Cody is not it. That was not my final boss. That was not your final boss. I don't know what that was, but that was not the final boss. That was Dwayne Johnson, board member of TKO Holdings. And that was frustrating as all hell. Like, seriously, why is he cool with Cody? He went on the warpath against Cody. That man made Cody bleed. And now he's gonna be all cool with him, and then the backstage stuff, he's drinking Terramana, and then he's drinking Wheatley's with Cody. And then The Rock gets in his truck and drives after drinking tequila and vodka. I guess it's only cool to drink and drive if you're The Rock or something. Like, I know other people noticed that too. That was really bizarre. Like, but this neutered Rock was not fun. Like, this is not The Rock. This was Dwayne Johnson, and that was just not it. The Roman solo match, I actually really enjoyed. I know sometimes the slow starts at the Bloodline matches can get grating, but I thought this one was fine. I think it really worked in this one. I thought they had great chemistry. I really enjoyed this match. Honestly, I think this might... It's either this or the final one was the match of the night. There's issues with both. This one was a lot of fun. The interference all around with Tama Tonga pulling out the ref on a sure 3 count was awesome. Then Jacob Fatu doing Jacob Fatu things. Then you had Sammy and Jimmy intervene. The only thing I kind of hate about this is it makes like Jacob and especially Tama look weak. They always make Tama look weak, or I'm like, Tama is like, hot take, like either the second or third most capable member of like the combined bloodline in terms of actual in-ring ability. Like it's Jacob 1, then you might want to say either Roman or Tama 2 or 3, depending on what you want. So it's a little frustrating on that, but then I really loved the Kevin Owens spot, and people are like, why is Kevin Owens cool with Solo? He hates Roman Reigns. You think Kevin wants to see Roman Reigns in power again? Like, Solo's bloodline may have messed with them early on, but I think he realized they were targeting Cody and he was helping Cody, so it's like the same with the Drew thing, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. That was great. He hits him with the stunner when Roman's about to spear Solo, then he goes for the pile driver, Cody comes in and makes the save. And honestly, I'm not a fan of the finish. I get making Roman the tribal chief. I get that's a big thing for a bunch of new audiences, but it really feels like they under-delivered on the Roman part of the story. The Solo part of the story this year has been phenomenal. I really like him as the contrast to Roman, that he treats his bloodline really well, that he's doing what he thinks is best for his family. I really have loved Solo's character and enjoyed his matches this year. I have become a big Solo fan. And I'm not gonna say Roman was great in this match. Roman's crowd work is phenomenal. Roman's selling is phenomenal. He knows when to do it. It's just like, and then it just felt flat. Like this did not feel like the. I know this is the end of this feud, but it really feels like they left so much meat on the bone story wise, and I don't really know where they go next with this because I don't know what the heck they do with Solo. Roman still hasn't apologized to anybody in the bloodline. He hasn't really redeemed any of his actions as a heel, but he's suddenly a babyface. And I get the crowds are behind him and stuff, but this has kind of been a common theme with some people this year. Mainly Roman, Rhea, and Damian in particular, honestly. Those are the three that really it feels like. And Punk to a lesser extent, but those are the three that it really feels like they just made faces and didn't have to, like, at least Damian's felt the most natural of the three. Roman and Rhea kind of suffer from that same problem of they didn't really redeem their actions, or they might have been, they were the bad guys, honestly, and they just didn't, the bad guy in the angle, but were treated like the face. But it's alright. I thought this was a great match. The Rock stuff with Roman after, I really didn't like. I thought The Rock was going to either put the Ulafala on himself or attack Roman Reigns. That would have been far better than whatever that was, kind of patting him on the back. I don't know. Like, maybe there's more meat, but it doesn't feel like we're getting a Rock Roman match anytime soon, and that was very disappointing. Like, I guess, again, this could be what my expectations were for this match with The Rock, and the match delivered. The story, no. But we have to see what they do for it. If they do something interesting with Roman as the tribal chief again, it'd be great, but, like, it just feels like a missed opportunity. The next match was Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan, and honestly, I only really have like one major complaint with this match. I thought this match was great. I get having Rhea win here. I know I predicted her to win, so this is my first prediction I got right, but I didn't want her to win. I liked the Liv. I would have loved to see what Liv's title reign could have been without the cloud of Rhea Ripley orbiting over her. But you're moving to a new era where you have more eyes on you than ever with the Netflix thing, so many first-time viewers, and Rhea's probably your most popular, definitely your most popular women's performer. And honestly, it's funny that her and Tiffany, I was going to talk about Tiffany in my previous video, but then I had to delete that part because she cashed in on Nia Jax the day before. So, yeah, having your belt on your two most probably popular women's stars, or two of your most popular women's stars, because Tiffany really is becoming super popular, is a good choice for new viewers and things like that. And it felt like maybe they wanted a clean sweep with New Year's Eve last night with Julia winning. They have three new women's world major, whatever you want to call it, champions, and it felt like they wanted a clean slate there. And yeah, obviously I get it, you want Rhea Ripley to have a Mania match, and it makes more sense to have her as the champion. Like, that's a marquee thing. So honestly, the match was great. It made both people look strong. It was just a finish of what the heck, and this is going to be a common thing, and I didn't really talk about it in the previous match. People need to stop kicking out of finishers so damn much. Like, honestly, like with the Roman kicked out of what, the spinning, the Samoan spike, some of Jacob Fatu's things, the stunner. It was just like whatever. Solo kicked out of some spears. It was more frustrating in the last three matches, but it was just people were spamming finishers and they were getting kicked out of it, and it weakens finishers, and it's a bad thing. With the Rhea and Liv one, it was really only one each, but I think Liv is only the second person ever to kick out of a Riptide, and she still lost. Like, if you're going to do something special, you need to win in that moment. That ruins the kicking out of the Riptide if you're not going to win. And then same with Rhea kicking out of the Oblivion in the chair. I get that's what beat her at SummerSlam. But, like, if you only had one of these two moments, like, if you wanted Rhea to win, have Rhea kick out of that. If you're going to do something like that, then have, like, Liv either get a rope break or just someone distract her, or she rolls out of the way after the Riptide. There's better ways than having it kick out of the finisher. So, honestly, that's my really only complaint with the Liv Rhea match, is the finish was kind of weird because of the kick out of the Riptide and the kick out of the Oblivion onto the chair on the mat. But that was honestly a great match, one of Liv's best matches, one of Rhea's best matches. Like, that was a really great example of what both can do. And yeah, Rhea's your champion heading forward. Not the worst decision, not my ideal decision, but hopefully it's not as much of a stranglehold of a reign. But Rhea's holding this belt till at least Mania, and the only person that could beat her is probably Io or Bianca, depending on what dream match they want to pull the trigger on. But it really feels like it's going to be Io because Bianca has her own storyline. Now, the match of the night that pissed me off the most. I will admit it. Drew McIntyre is my favorite person on the roster, at least on the men's side. Asuka's probably on par. It's like Drew McIntyre for the men, Asuka for the women. Then it's like Julia, and honestly, Oba's really run me over in NXT. But Jey Uso, man, looked gassed out there. I'm sorry, I get it with the out of the ring stuff, the charisma, the personality, the likability, some of these promos that he cut when he was part of the bloodline and not part of the bloodline, when they give him something serious to, put his teeth into, he can deliver. I hate this main event character with a burning passion. He is so underwhelming in the ring. It's not like, okay, like I'm going to compare him with Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry isn't spectacular in the ring. He's solid. He's above average. It's still enjoyable though. It works. Like he has more moves in his arsenal. Joe Hendry has an amateur wrestling background. He's won medals as like British amateur wrestling at whatever age groups. Like Joe Hendry has a legit amateur wrestling background. Is he like a Chad Gable or like a Creed? No, not like a Creed brother or Chad Gable in terms of like that kind of ability, but he's still like highly talented. He might be on, maybe he's on par with like Creed, Julius Creed, like the accomplishments of Julius Creed. I think won national championships and Joe Hendry won British gold medals at like the Commonwealth Games, or maybe it's the British Wrestling Opens or whatever it is. I know he has them, but like people be like, I don't want to say meme wrestler, but like Joe Hendry was a similar level, or still is a similar level of over than is Jey Uso. But brother, I'd rather watch a Joe Hendry match 10 out of 10 times. It's way more entertaining. Jey Uso literally needs like an Ilya level of performer to make him have a good match. And this is as a singles wrestler. Jey is a great tag team wrestler because in tag team it works. The Usos work so well as a tag team. But Jey Uso beating Drew McIntyre, having Drew lose on a roll up, but just in general, is the dumbest call in the entire thing. I know I'll get on a rant about how the face is winning later, but Drew is the bloodline hunter, man. He needed to go and beat everybody up to Roman and beat Roman. That had so much momentum, and I feel like they just halted it. Like, Jey really needs to go back to the tag team division. Like, there's people clamoring for him to be a world champion. Hell no. I mean, someone said he's like the Jeff Hardy, but I feel like Jeff Hardy was so much more of an entertaining in-ring performer. With all the death-defying stunts, the senton. Like, Jeff Hardy was fun to watch. Is he like that? Maybe I think he could have been like a world champion level. I don't know, maybe not, but like I'd much rather watch Jeff Hardy than Jey Uso. And this is such a disservice to Drew McIntyre, man. Like honestly, Drew McIntyre has been the best thing on 2024. Yeah, early on the show they're talking about Cody carried the company, Roman carried the company during the pandemic, Drew carried the company and carried the company during the pandemic. Are you blind people? Like, it's really funny, but this is going to set up a really nuclear blow up from Drew McIntyre. And I get they have had the downfall of Drew McIntyre, that they keep having him lose and spiral, but he needed to go on this winning streak. You need to build one of your cornerstone main event guys. Jey Uso is not that. Drew is that. Jey cannot hang with him on the mic consistently. Jey cannot hang with him in the ring. I know people love Jey Uso, but say what you want about Cena. Cena still was capable of having good matches. John Cena was limited in ring, but it wasn't nearly as limited as Jey Uso, who has like, I know it was like the 5 moves of doom with Cena. But like the Drew match really felt like they were at like a snail's pace. Like I felt like Drew was doing everything to make Jey work, but it's like I can't speak for him. He seems like a wonderful guy, Jey Uso, but it just feels like maybe he hasn't put the work. I don't know. Like he looked gassed. He looked gassed throughout that match. Blown up people said like. It's frustrating. And then having him kick out of the Claymore, L to L, man. L, 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 L. That really, that of all the matches, like, I could change one result. It's this one in a heartbeat. Like, at least the other matches were good matches. This one was weird. It felt like the pacing was so bad. Drew was doing his best, man. This isn't Drew's fault. And honestly, like, in 2024, there's 2 really terrible decisions I think they made, and it was not giving Chad the Intercontinental title and giving Jey the Intercontinental title, because it's like, I can't take Jey seriously as a singles champion or a singles competitor, because you don't need to be like a genius or be the best in-ring performer to get over or to be good. Like there's people that, CM Punk is good in ring. He's not spectacular, but he's good. Like there's people who can still tell entertaining stories and have good matches. that aren't the best in ring. So I don't know. I just, this is a character. Jey Uso is like the most divisive character in wrestling right now, and for very good reason. I understand why people love him, but he's the ultimate definition of it. And then the bell rings kind of guy. And I get why they're pushing him, but Drew needed this win. That was a really stupid decision. Like, it also makes Sammy look. Why Sammy got to lose to Jey, or Sammy lose to Drew and Jey beat Drew? Sammy is a much better just overall character wrestler than Jey is. Like, that would have made more sense if, like, I know Drew lost in because of, you know, he got distracted or whatever, but like, you have Drew crush Jey and then lose to Sammy in this manner. I think way less people would be upset. People would still be upset, but way less. The Hogan segment was hysterical. Oh, I forgot to talk about, before I get to Hogan, that the Undertaker coming out at the end of Rhea's thing and kind of passing the torch as the American Badass. It works. It works. I love the Undertaker. I'm gonna be a mark for that every time. Undertaker's my favorite wrestler ever. I'm not gonna complain about that. But that contrasts with Hulk Hogan. So, the only thing I'll say on this is Undertaker and Hulk Hogan have somewhat similar political views. But the Undertaker is not getting booed because the Undertaker is not a racist. The Undertaker is not a villain. The Undertaker didn't stooge and ruin the WWE's chance of having unions for the wrestlers. There's two people we need to cut away from this company. Hulk Hogan and Logan Paul just need to get the heck out of WWE. Stay away, because no one wants them there, honestly. And I'm glad the crowd knew to boo. That was phenomenal, just watching those reactions and everyone being really funny. And Iron Sheik is smiling down upon us for that one. I already talked about the ad thing, so we'll move on to that last match. I know I said whatever. I think Seth Punk was probably the match of the night. It cooked. I actually liked seeing them use each other's finishers. They kind of started spamming it. It's funny. People said I think Seth's CTS has been better than Punk's recently, but this was another one where they just spammed out of so many finishers. But it made them both look overpowered. It was annoying. This might have been the most and least annoying part of that on the card, because I like the idea of when you use other people's finishers, you're not as good as doing them as other people are. So it doesn't work as well. But I have a serious gripe with Punk kicking out of the pedigree onto the desk and then the pedigree in the ring is so stupid to me. I get Punk needed to win this match. I predicted him to win this match. They could have done it in so much better fashion, man. Great match. A lot of great spots. I loved Punk using the stomp after Seth was using the GTS. It told a really great story in the ring, and hopefully this isn't the last match between them, because there's a lot of meat left on the bone, and a PLE match would be even better. But just that, again, with the whole night of the bad taste in the mouth with that. And I want to get into my thing that I hate when Triple H does this. When all the baby faces win, it sucks. And I get maybe to the average person, they root for the heroes. I know there's people that go to the shows that, no, we're going to root for the heroes because they tell us to root for the heroes, or root for the faces because they tell us to root for the faces. I like a lot of the heels more, man. And you're going to tell me that one heel couldn't win tonight in 4 matches? Really? I get Rhea and I get Punk. That's why I predicted them, man. Those made sense to win. The Roman win is not great in story-wise, but it works enough. It's something that people wanted. But Jey beating Drew, and Drew has so much of a better story. Like, the only person that the Jey win helps is Jey. Drew winning helps so much more. It helps the Drew story. It helps the put a target, maybe have a match for Roman down the line. It just elevates so much more stuff. And I need him to stop being self-destructive. And it felt like some of these other segments took away from people being in the ring. That we could have had a Becky Lynch return. We could have had a Penta debut here. But like this, I get this was appealing to a different audience than maybe the core people was. But this was so disappointing. Next week's card looks so much better. I'm way more excited for that show. And that's just been my rant. This was like a 4 out of 10, man. And it's not even that the in-ring product was bad. We just didn't have enough of it. And it was so far and few in between. So yeah, like and subscribe if you like the content. I'm going to try to be a little more regular with stuff. But you'll all do my best. Thanks for watching. I've been Darkhound, and you've been a wonderful audience.